From the moment she first appeared on our screens as a bright-eyed child star, Hayden Panettiere captured the hearts of millions. We watched her grow from a sweet little girl in commercials to the powerful cheerleader who could heal from any wound in the hit show Heroes. For years, she was the definition of the American sweetheart. But as the years went by, the headlines started to change. We saw her face a series of incredibly difficult personal battles that would have broken anyone else. Now, Hayden is back, and she is stronger, healthier, and more confident than ever before. Recently, some photos of Hayden in a bikini have gone viral, and fans are saying they leave absolutely nothing to the imagination. But they aren't talking about scandal. They are talking about the incredible proof of her physical and mental recovery. These images show a woman who has reclaimed her body, her health, and her life. You are going to want to stay with us until the very end of this video because we are revealing a secret about her daily routine that helped her get through her darkest days, and it is something anyone can use to change their life. Hayden's journey in the spotlight began when she was just a baby. She was in her first commercial at 11 months old, and by the time she was a young girl, she was a regular on popular soap operas like One Life to Live. She had a natural talent that was impossible to ignore. She wasn't just a cute kid. She was a serious actress who could handle deep emotions. This early fame was a whirlwind, and while it brought her success, it also meant she never had a normal childhood. She spent her days on sets and her nights studying scripts. This pressure to be perfect and to always be on started at a very young age. It created a foundation where she felt she always had to please the public and the industry. This is a secret struggle that many child stars face, and for Hayden, it was the start of a very complicated relationship with fame. The world truly fell in love with her when she landed the role of Claire Bennett in Heroes. The phrase, "Save the cheerleader, save the world," became a global phenomenon. Hayden was suddenly one of the most famous teenagers on the planet. She was the girl every young woman wanted to be and every young man had a crush on. During this time, her image was everywhere. She was always perfectly dressed and perfectly poised. But behind the scenes, the cheerleader was starting to feel the weight of the world on her shoulders. She has since been very open about the fact that during the height of her fame, she began to struggle with things she didn't feel she could talk about. She felt she had to maintain that perfect girl image no matter what was happening inside. This period of her life was a beautiful dream on the outside, but the cracks were starting to form on the inside. As she moved from her teens into her 20s, Hayden took on the role of Juliet Barnes in the show Nashville. This was a turning point for her career because it allowed her to show a more mature and complicated side of herself. Juliet was a country music superstar who was often seen as a bad girl, but she was really just someone who was deeply hurting. Looking back, Hayden has said that her own life started to mirror her character's life in ways that were almost scary. While she was playing a woman struggling with her demons on screen, Hayden was facing her own real-life battles. She dealt with the immense pressure of the music industry, the demands of filming a long-running show, and the constant scrutiny of the paparazzi. It was during her time on Nashville that she faced one of her biggest challenges: postpartum depression after the birth of her daughter Kaya. This was a time when the perfect image of Hayden Panettiere began to change in the public eye. She was incredibly brave and became one of the first major celebrities to speak openly about postpartum depression. She checked herself into treatment facilities and told her fans that she needed help. This honesty was a breath of fresh air, but it was also a very painful time for her. She was trying to be a good mother while her own mental health was in a very dark place. The photos of her from this era often showed a woman who looked tired and overwhelmed. It was a far cry from the glowing cheerleader we remembered. But this was the beginning of her real story, the story of a survivor. She was learning that you can't heal until you are honest about your pain. However, the road to recovery was not a straight line. Hayden has recently shared that she also struggled with substance abuse during this difficult period. She has talked about how she used things to numb the pain and to deal with the anxiety of her life. This led to some very scary moments and health scares that almost cost her everything. She faced a long period where she stepped away from acting entirely. She needed to disappear from the spotlight to save her own life. She spent time in intensive therapy and focused on getting sober and healthy. During these years, fans were worried. They didn't see many photos of her, and when they did, they were often blurry paparazzi shots that didn't tell the whole story. The world was waiting to see if the girl they loved would ever come back. That is why the recent photos of Hayden in a bikini have caused such a massive reaction. When people say they leave nothing to the imagination, they are referring to the fact that her health and strength are on full display. In these images, Hayden looks vibrant, fit, and genuinely happy. You can see the muscle tone in her legs and arms, which is proof of the hard work she has put into her physical fitness. But more than that, you can see it in her eyes. She has a glow that hasn't been there in years. She isn't hiding behind filters or heavy editing. She is showing the world exactly who she is today. She is a woman who has walked through fire and come out on the other side. These photos are a victory lap for her, and her fans are cheering her on every step of the way. One of the secrets to her new, healthy look is her commitment to a holistic lifestyle. Hayden has traded the party scene for a life that is focused on wellness. She spends a lot of time outdoors, connecting with nature and finding peace in the quiet moments. She has talked about how exercise is no longer about looking skinny for a role, but about feeling strong for herself. She enjoys things like swimming, hiking, and yoga. This shift in perspective is visible in her physique. She looks like an athlete who respects her body. She has also focused on her nutrition, fueling herself with foods that give her energy rather than dragging her down. This dedication to her well-being is what has allowed her to make such a stunning comeback. Another huge part of Hayden's transformation is her relationship with her daughter. Even though they have lived apart for periods of time due to Hayden's health struggles and custody arrangements, the love between them has always been the driving force for her recovery. Hayden has said that she wanted to get healthy so she could be the best mother possible. She wants her daughter to see a woman who is strong, independent, and capable of overcoming anything. This motivation is a secret power that has kept her going when things got tough. The photos of Hayden today reflect a woman who is at peace with her past and excited about her future with her family. In 2023, Hayden made a triumphant return to the big screen in Scream 6, reprising her fan-favorite role as Kirby Reed. Fans were speechless when they saw her back in action. She looked incredible, and her performance was as sharp as ever. It was a clear sign to Hollywood and the world that Hayden Panettiere was back and better than ever. She handled the press tours with grace and wit, showing that she hadn't lost her spark. This return to acting was a major milestone in her recovery journey. It proved that she could handle the pressure of a major film franchise while maintaining her health and her sobriety. She is now choosing roles that she feels passionate about, rather than just taking whatever comes her way. Thank you so much for watching this deep dive into the incredible life and comeback of Hayden Panettiere. Her resilience is something we can all learn from, and her new chapter is just beginning. We hope you enjoyed seeing the real story behind the headlines and the secret to her amazing transformation. Now we want to hear from you. What is your favorite Hayden Panettiere role? Was it the brave Claire Bennett in Heroes or the fiery Juliette Barnes in Nashville? And how do you feel about her inspiring journey back to health? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We have many more stories about your favorite stars and the secrets behind their lives, so make sure you stay tuned for our next video. We will see you in the next one.